So how do you perform like the top 1% of salespeople? Now, I've been fortunate enough to be a top 1% salesperson in SaaS for over a decade, having won countless awards, president's clubs, and worked for the most prolific companies on the planet. And I've also been a vice president of sales with a quota that exceeds $10 million, where I was able to turn a team around in, again, one of the fastest growing software companies in the world. So I've met thousands of salespeople, I've trained many, I've done keynote talks and everything in between. So for me, it often comes down to two core things in what I see in the top 1% of sellers. One is really their mindset. Now, I know some of you are going to hear that and immediately want to click off, but just be patient, because when I talk about mindset, the way that top 1% people think is they are truly unstoppable and they are truly unbreakable. Nothing deters them from their mission. The first thing is they have a vision for who they are and what they want to achieve. So their identity within themselves dictates that they get the work done under any given circumstance. They get a rejection, they accept it as a lesson. They get a setback, they want to understand what could they learn from that and how could they do better. Something doesn't go their way, it doesn't stop them, they continue to march forward. So if you look at this in any given circumstance, their mindset is they continue to persevere and march forward. And this is 90% of the battle when it comes to being a best-in-class salesperson, because most people break. It's one of the few jobs out there where you have to accept more rejection than you're going to accept won deals in order to be successful. If someone is closing at a 40% success rate, that's good, which means 60% of the time you're getting rejected. So a top 1% salesperson can continue to march forward no matter what comes their way. The next component is that they work towards a system, and they are disciplined, maniacal, and focused about executing on that system. So when I say this, I often talk about this principle of having a personal operating system, which means that you do certain activities every single day as your non-negotiables. So when I was out there on the field as a salesperson, I generated pipeline at the same time every single day. I committed to speaking to a certain amount of prospects every single day. I committed to doing certain amounts of work and getting through certain things in a day every single day, certain tasks every single day. And it was a system. So what that meant was I got to a point where I could know with mathematical certainty that I would hit my quota, because I knew as long as I did a certain amount of a certain type of activity daily, it would take me to a certain number and take me to a specific output. The challenge for most people is that they were not able to continue to do that system and that output every single day consistently, because it's hard, right? When your energy's not feeling great and you still got to do it, that's where people drop off. Where you just don't feel like doing it, that's where most people will drop off. But when you have the discipline and the commitment to being consistent every single day and saying, well, regardless of how I feel, I will get this done. I will adhere to my system because it's a part of my identity. It's a part of who I am. And I'm committed to my goals and my need to hit my quota. That's a different way of thinking. And so if you combine the two things I've said, really, having that relentless mindset and that commitment to your system, you will hit your quota. And because that mindset is someone who always wants to learn. That mindset is someone who will get a mentor and commit to that mentor. Having that type of mindset is someone who is always studious. And so I'm really talking about the person that you need to be internally, because that type of person will commit to the work, will commit to the mentorship, will commit to the learning, will commit to hitting their quota, will commit to being relentless. So it's those commitments that you make to yourself that really make you top 1%, and it's the identity that you create for yourself that makes you top 1%. So hopefully this is helpful in terms of getting you to think about what really can take you from where you are right now to being elite in your craft, because I don't feel that this really only goes for being a software salesperson, but this really goes for many different careers out there. So I hope you can take some form of gem from this. If you've taken anything from either this video or my content, please do drop me a DM on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you, just to hear more about your story and your journey. I love the messages I get, just hearing about the impact and the way that people are up-leveling their careers by virtue of the content. So if that's you, do drop me a direct message on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you. Outside of that, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.